After I posted my last video about La La Land, one of my friends recommended me to watch this Korean film called The Classic. Without giving it much thought, I looked up on this film and just watched. And oh my, I was not prepared for this movie. So lay in your bed or watch while you're eating, because this movie is going to take a while. The Classic splits a story between two different timelines. Unfortunately, I will only be covering the past timeline, so if you're interested in the movie after watching this video, please watch it and do so. This person's name is Juna. While trying to catch a beetle in the river with his friends, a beautiful girl passes by them. Juna's friend tells him that she's the congressman's daughter that's from the town called Suwon, which coincidentally is the same town that Juna is from. Juna waves hello to her, which she responded back, and the whole group is ecstatic. At another time, the congressman's daughter seems interested in what Juna and the others were doing. Juna notices this and offers her a beetle that they caught. Being interested, as she's never seen a beetle before, she approaches them and tries to touch it. Well, that is until her friend told her that it's covered in cow feces. Out of the blue, however, she asked Juna whether he's seen the haunted house across the river, in which he replied to yes, leading to her asking for a favor in bringing her to that said haunted house. Although not knowing how to row a boat, he said yes to this anyway. When they met up at the boat the next day, they talk a little bit about their life. She tells him how strict her family is. If she were to ask anyone else in the village, they would have told her grandpa right away, making it almost impossible to actually go to the haunted house. During all this time talking, she realizes that the boat actually haven't moved a single bit, and Juna admits that it's actually his first time rowing. In the middle of the way, they finally have their introduction, as they've never exchanged their names before, and here we find that the congressman's daughter name is actually Sung Joo-hee. While checking out the house, Joo-hee falls down a crack, which startled Juna as well, but he soon helps her out. But while helping her, in the corner of the screen, we can see a figure passing by them. Juna tries to follow where that figure went and slowly opens a door leading to Joo-hee is curious too, as she walks by trying to open the door, but it closed by itself, until it was just a homeless man. This startled her, as they both get scared and scream their lungs out, but they laugh it off as they realize that it wasn't actually a ghost. Unfortunately, another tragedy happened as rain comes down and made the boat that they previously came in with float away, preventing them from going back. During their wait to find a way back home, Joo-hee falls down and sprayed her ankle, leading to Juna carrying her to a small shelter where they figured that they should go to the ferry along the river. On the way back, we can see how much people are waiting for Joo-hee, just showing the amount of status she has as a person. As a thankful gesture for carrying her all the way back though, she gives him her necklace to remember her by. Once she's carried away, Joo-hee's grandfather is absolutely pissed. He slaps Juna and leaves. No other words was said. Unfortunately, after this, she got sick from the rain and quickly left the place for a big hospital in Seoul. Time passes, and coming back to school, Juna gets approached by a person named Tae-soo. Although they've never talked to each other, Tae-soo has heard a rumor that Juna writes letters for other people. He explained that this letter is for his fiancée, an arranged marriage with a daughter of his dad's friend, but Tae-soo's not so into the idea of an arranged relationship. He tells Juna that his fiancée is a congressman's daughter and shows a picture of her, which turns out to be Joo-hee all along. Juna agrees to write letters for Tae-soo, but it's not so easy, knowing that his love is already in an arranged relationship with someone else. But as a benefit, him writing the letter was rather his way of telling himself to Joo-hee through those letters. At PE class, Tae-soo invites Juna for a folk dance after class, which was his and Joo-hee's dad's idea. Tae-soo suggests that there will be a lot of girls so that Juna can pick one and won't feel so loony throughout the dance. During said folk dance, Juna and Joo-hee finally meet each other for once, but they pretend to not know each other so that Tae-soo doesn't know the relationship that they both have. Once the dance finishes, all four of them walk back to their places, but they decided to split up so that Tae-soo can accompany Joo-hee back to her place. Juna does the same, but it doesn't take long until Juna sneaks and leaves to Joo-hee's place, and they finally get their chance to be together without anyone else's disturbance. The next following day, Tae-soo tells Juna that Joo-hee hasn't mailed him back yet at all. He calls back to what he said previously, that he's not the type to fall in love with one girl, but he must have really liked Joo-hee as he's showing so much care for her, and passes out. Later on, Tae-soo went to Joo-hee's house to finally confess about his feelings that he really likes her. He also asks her to mail him back while giving flowers and kisses as he leaves. Oh, and he falls down again. Around these times, Joo-hee and Juna has been secretly going out together. While climbing up a stair, they found themselves being out of breath and decided to sit down. Juhee uses this chance to tell him everything that's been going on. She confessed her confusion about the current situation of them hiding their relationship from Tae-soo, and says there's nothing they could do for their own relationship. During this hardship though, Juna goes in for a kiss, but Juhee avoids it and says that there's a way for this issue to be resolved. She decides to not meet anyone else ever again, including both Tae-soo and Juna. I don't fully understand this next scene, but as Tae-soo comes to school, a senior I suppose gets triggered at him for not bowing in, which he doesn't give any reaction. I suppose this is because Juna has also gotten the punishment and he wanted to be right beside him to tell him some news. After getting punished alongside Juna, he explained that he gave her flowers and even kissed her, but there's still no response from her. During a rainfall, Juna spots Juhee and approaches her, but she leaves not wanting to listen to him. He comes to the front of her house, flickering the lights, signaling for her to come out, but she just got back home. He drags her to a nearby road so her family doesn't see them and tells her that he doesn't want to split up this way. She tells Juna that there's no use in talking about this and leaves him, but clearly she wants things to work out too, as she went back and cried while leaning on his shoulder. The next day, Juna gets the letter from Juhee and gives it to Tae-soo, but he doesn't want it anymore because he feels conscious that all the previous letters weren't written by him. He also tells Juna that he heard Juhee got sick from the rain that happened the other day and she's now in the hospital because of it. After the class, Juna went to visit Juhee at the hospital and she's surprised that Juna is around and gets embarrassed, but Juna comforts her saying that she's pretty anyways. They have a little chat but came to the conclusion that they'll be honest with Tae-soo and just clears their conscience, and he leaves. Being ready to tell Tae-soo about the relationship, he tells him to clench his fists and hit him, but he wouldn't do such a thing. He doesn't like hitting people or even getting hit, because his dad hits him a lot. Juna admits that he likes Juhee and Tae-soo walks away laughing it off, where Juna goes in for a second strike, admitting that she has given him a necklace last summer, and Tae-soo falls. Tae-soo assures him to not worry but tells him to not let his dad see the necklace as it is a gift from his dad to Juhee. During the winter break, Tae-soo decides to help Juna by letting him write letters to Juhee under his name so that there's no suspicion between the fathers. But fate wasn't on his side, as one of those letters was returned back to Tae-soo's home. This leads to the disappointment of Tae-soo's father, in which Tae-soo explained that Juna is in love with Juhee. He says that both of them truly love each other and that's why he gave up on the relationship a long time ago. His father quickly pulls his belt, which leaves him scared and trembling. Tae-soo's father explains that he always wants things to go to his own way, and complains that she is the congressman's daughter. Clearly the whole arranged marriage was meant for social benefits rather than an actual true relationship. After the winter break ended, Juna meets up with Tae-soo in the library, where Tae-soo pulls his belt away and he asks Juna what it is, which he simply responds that it's a belt, but Tae-soo denies this, saying that it's actually a whip that keeps hitting him. So now that he has the whip, what kind of punishment he should give it? Juna responds saying the death penalty, and Tae-soo agrees. But which way would be appropriate? Kill it slowly and painfully? Starve it slowly to death? Or perhaps OD it? Juna suggests strangling it to death, and Tae-soo likes the idea. Finally, Tae-soo tells Juna to take care of Juhee and leaves. During another announcement gathering, Tae-soo fakes passing out so that he gets carried to the infirmary. After arriving to the infirmary, he wakes up and put a slit to a paper to hang to his clothes and smirks. Juna comes into the infirmary and I can't really show you the next scene for a very obvious reason, but I think you can generally understand what had happened so far. Juhee visits Tae-soo and Juna in the hospital after hearing the news, but she's too scared to be beside him as she feels that she's partly responsible for what had happened. Eventually, Juna breaks down in tears seeing the two of them together, figuring that it's best to let them be together because of the family situation that they both have. He then decides to leave while hanging his necklace on the door. Juhee notices the necklace and tries to chase him, but he's already nowhere to be found. Far into the future, in which I assume now that Juhee is actually a university student, she gets into the middle of a student protest. With tear gas being thrown around, she's forced to retreat, but the pain in her eye leaves her standing at the side of the road, until someone suggests putting toothpaste near the eye to ease in the pain. Shockingly, we find that the person helping Juhee was Tae-soo all along. They catch up on how long he has been, and Juhee asks if Tae-soo has heard anything from Juna. Turns out, Juna has enlisted himself in the military. Juhee finds him one last time before he could depart, but he couldn't face her with all the guilt that he has. She tells him to please come back alive, and the train started moving and he was finally able to look at her. Juhee gives her necklace back to Juna, hoping that he'll come back alive as he leaves. During the war, the Korean side gets suppressed heavily, leading for Juna and the others to retreat. in which before they could do so, one of Juna's friends beside him gets shot unexpectedly. Juna tries to wake him up by punching him, but to no avail. He gets forcefully dragged back though by his friend to the rescue helicopter, but he realizes that he's lost the necklace that Joo-hee gave and goes back to the battlefield to find it. After dodging and shooting some enemies on the way back there, he finally retrieves the necklace, but as he rushes back, he saw an injured soldier and decided to pick him up and carry him. Dodging every obstacles along the way, everything seems to be going well, until... we find after that Juna is actually still alive and is going to meet Joo-hee. He compliments her on how beautiful she is and asks how Tae-soo is doing, in which she responds that he's doing alright, but it's clear that Joo-hee doesn't have much interest in him currently. Juna asks why Joo-hee hasn't married yet at all and tells her that he's already married by now. Joo-hee lies and says that she's heard of the news. Juna suddenly looks to the right and says that it's a piano doll, saying that the piano doll reminds him of her back in the days in school. But the piano doll is nowhere in sight. It was taken away by a child to another table. She finally realizes what had happened and waves her hand in front of his face, and he gives no reaction at all. She breaks down in tears, trying to cover her voice, and asks how she looks right now, and he says that she looks healthy but wants her to look happier. But she reveals that she's actually crying and asks if he can't see her crying at all. Joo-hee is disappointed in the fact that Juna has never told her that he was blind. Realizing that Joo-hee finally knows, he leaves making an excuse saying that he's late for another appointment, but he falls all over the places. He admits that he came in last night to practice so that she wouldn't know that he's blind, and it almost fooled her. His real intention of coming was to finally give back the necklace, but she declines and tells him that the necklace is all his now. And that's it, the classic 2003 Korean. The unfortunate social disparity between Joo-hee and Juna made their relationship impossible in the first place. The fact that Joo-hee was a congressman's daughter back in 1968 practically defines her as royalty. In fact, Juna definitely realizes this fact, even up until the very end where he lied to us again. The last lie he told us was the fact that he wasn't married at all by the time of meeting Joo-hee, because Juna knew that Joo-hee wanted to be with him all along, but with all the circumstances life has given them, he's always thought that Tae-soo would be a better fit for her. Anyway, this movie is really beautiful, and I've yet to even cover the other part of the film, and so that's why I do recommend you to watch this film yourself so you understand the other role in the movie specifically. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it thus far, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.